I'll continue to voice this until someone at Bravo recognizes the treasure trove they're sitting on. Ariana and Katie, the standout characters from the highest-rated show, have ventured into a successful business. Dana's podcast chemistry was spot on. We've got crossover gems like Lindsay, along with Ciara, Paige, and Amanda, who are queens in their own right. Charlie is connected, as is Gabby. Imagine a big coastal sex in the city, blending LA and NYC vibes with sandwiches, fashion, dating, and independent bosses. It's the perfect recipe for a network with a predominantly female audience. So why hasn't this become a reality? I'd absolutely tune in for a ultimate girls trip, even if it's just featuring past VPR girls from the peak seasons 6 and 7, maybe with a few extras. Less drama, more about their journey from wild young adults to empowered women. VPR resonates with me because it mirrors my 20s in LA during that same era. I'm longing for something more delightful and heartfelt than the constant gender battles. And Ariana's transformation is striking. Apart from cutting out toxic influences, what else has she done? Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Spill Chronicles. It's me, Ramona, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching, so let's dive into today's video. Moreover, all the world's a stage, as Shakespeare famously said, and this scene feels straight out of one of his plays. I'm truly baffled by where reality ends and the show begins. How can they move forward from this point? Towards the end of the reunion, LVP seemed utterly done with it all. I think she realizes that the show we once knew is now completely gone. It was heartbreaking to watch Ariana endure his fake tears, especially when he wished her well. That moment made me want to scream. And Tom's insincerity is glaring. His "I wish you the best" was clearly an act. His behavior towards Ariana this season has been appalling. I hope there's no season 12. I'm not interested in watching deceitful Tom, lollygag, shushity, broke, or shorts. It's time for them to pursue new careers. I'd much rather see a fun Bravo show featuring Ariana, Katie, James, Ally, and Dana. Season 11 was a major letdown and not enjoyable to watch. Now I'm in tears, but from laughter. My dogs are giving me that judgmental look, you know, the one where they think you're insane. There I am, lying in bed watching Love Island, laughing until I cry, and being scrutinized by my furry companions. That finale was tough to watch. Ariana conducted herself with grace, and I adore her and Katie's friendship. I'm tired of Lala making every situation about herself. It's draining. Sheena seemed terrified of saying something wrong and upsetting Lala. Their friendship is starting to seem toxic. When Lisa said, "I don't know how to fix this," and walked off stage, I think she acknowledged that the show's time is up, and I agree. They're too old and broken now, truly Shakespearean. And getting through the finale with Lala's incessant chatter and more fake tears from the same person as last year was a struggle. Then there's Sheena, trying to please both Sandy and Lala the entire time. It was an inauthentic spectacle. The one who stayed true to themselves was attacked for not adhering to a lousy script that viewers never believed and would never believe, because these are reality TV stars, not Emmy-nominated A-list actors. We were never going to buy into such a poorly acted, fake storyline. Even Ariana realized she couldn't play along with such nonsense and walked away because it was fake and ridiculous to her. Additionally, it's quite amusing coming from someone who conveniently avoided addressing her issues with Ariana all season, only to smile in her face, and then make nasty comments later on the after show and during the reunion. By Lala's twisted logic, she never truly had a problem with Ariana, since she didn't directly confront her on camera. She was desperately searching for a legitimate reason to justify her animosity towards Ariana this season, likely because she can't admit to her own jealousy. It's like she regressed into a child having a tantrum, insisting that things aren't fair. There's a part of me that thinks she might have had a moment of realization about how absurd she was being, but her narcissism won't allow her to acknowledge it. I believe she knew deep down that she was wrong, but stubbornly refused to back down. It was evident in the way she watched the ending unfold, and her refusal to retract a single word she said, like comparing Ariana to Beyoncé or a deity, was utterly ridiculous. Taking some responsibility and being a supportive friend seemed beyond her grasp. Lala seems determined to see Ariana publicly torn apart and humiliated. Her tantrums only reveal her own pathetic nature, and it's genuinely sad, both for her and those around her. In another VPR reality check, they gaslit Ariana all season for seemingly petty reasons like still living in the house and not accepting Sandoval's alleged $3.1 million offer, only for us to learn on Secrets Revealed that the actual offer was a mere $600,000, with Ariana's name still on the mortgage. Lala's behavior mirrors the worst traits of Regina George I've ever seen. She harbors self-hatred and refuses to admit her mistakes, projecting her anger onto others. Anything that doesn't serve her is perceived as a personal attack. Girl needs therapy pronto, and perhaps some better manicures. If she can afford 2 houses and 2 kids, surely she can upgrade from Temu nails. However, why do people discount Ariana's conversations with Tom from last season, or even this season, for that matter? I fail to comprehend those who claim Ariana isn't fulfilling her duties because she won't engage with Sandoval. She had significant exchanges with him last season, expressed her frustration with him this season, and consistently appeared in scenes he was part of. Isn't that fulfilling her job requirements? I genuinely struggle to understand what more people expected from her. Ariana shouldn't be coerced into conversing with Tom for the sake of her castmates' job security or for the audience's entertainment. For those clamoring for a big end-of-season discussion, I pose this question: where does it end? If Season 11 concluded with Tom apologizing and seeking forgiveness, would Season 12 revolve around Ariana accepting his apology, culminating in a hug at the season's end? Not only is it unethical to put Ariana in a work environment that jeopardizes her mental well-being, it's also unrealistic. If they don't communicate off-camera, and the show prides itself on authenticity, why would anyone expect them to hash things out on camera? Furthermore, Ariana has indeed conversed with Tom both last season and this season. It's as though the goalposts keep shifting for her. Just have one conversation, then another and another. She can't seem to win, and it's baffling. Despite these interactions, she has remained true to herself. Watching them directly engage during the reunion was uncomfortable. It felt like they cornered her, pushing, pulling, stomping, and whining to force a conversation. Also, Tom could remind us he's right-handed. Seriously, what? That both he and Ariana made mistakes, and that he's just a remorseful little boy. Ariana appeared visibly distressed. The third part of the reunion left me deeply uneasy and was far from good television. On the other hand, what are the reasons behind Lala's downfall at this particular moment? Lauren's fall from grace has been overdue for quite some time. It's disappointing to see how many fans only jumped off the Lala train after Season 11. Her blatant racism and misogyny have been glaring aspects of her persona since the beginning of the show. Assigning a moral hierarchy to these individuals may be futile, as they all have their flaws, but Lala has always been too problematic to cheer for, even in the realm of reality TV. Why did it take just this season for people to realize how problematic she truly is? Was her appropriation of a blaccent not enough? What about her involvement with a married man, lying about it, and then taunting his ex-wife? And let's not forget about the incident with Faith, where she pulled a knife. Perhaps I, as a woman of color, placed too much hope in a fan base primarily made up of white women to recognize, care about, and take action against these issues. Realistically, we should have boycotted the show after Stassi, Kristen, Jax, and Brittany were fired for their racist behavior. So why now the desire for Lala's downfall, and why wasn't it apparent earlier? As a fellow Black woman, I agree. Lala's repulsive behavior has always been evident, and it's disheartening that her racism wasn't taken seriously until now. However, her downfall isn't so far removed from her racism. Racism ultimately stems from a sense of superiority over others, and once that mindset is revealed, it's clear that someone like Lala could believe she's above anyone for any reason she deems fit and subsequently belittle and undermine them. The audience only seemed to care when she targeted someone they cared about, who unsurprisingly happened to be white. To be honest, besides the black scent, which she showcased on the show, and the possible involvement with a married man, I wasn't aware of all the other incidents. Many fans, including myself, primarily focused on what was aired on the show and didn't pay much attention to the cast's off-screen actions until more recently. The incident with the knife and taunting the wife were revelations to me, and Lala always portrayed them as friends. I'm not excusing the fanbase's ignorance, but many people may have been unaware of these off-screen events, especially in the earlier seasons. These are all fair questions. Personally, I wasn't aware of most of the troubling things she was involved in. I was preoccupied with raising children, and VPR was my guilty pleasure, an escape from reality. I only saw what the show presented, and while her black scent was off-putting, I didn't know she was from Utah, so I assumed she was immersed in Black culture. The incident with Faith only came to my attention this year, and I feel it should have been more widely reported. I liked her for not letting Jax get away with his behavior and for keeping Sandoval in check. Looking back, I wish I had seen her for who she truly was sooner, but as they say, when you know better, you do better. However, while watching the Secrets Revealed episode, and seeing Lisa talk to James about Sandoval and his mistake, it struck me how her friendship with Brandy paralleled Rachel's role in Ariana and Tom's dynamic. Both Lisa and Ken were staunch supporters of Brandy, defending her, welcoming her into their home, creating an intimate bond, much like Ariana and Tom shared with Rachel. I can't help but wonder how Lisa would feel if Brandy had been in a 7-month relationship with Ken. How would she react to Kyle and Yolanda defending Ken, reaching out to Brandy, and gossiping behind her back? Would she consider leaving Villa Rosa, her cherished home? How would she feel about comments insinuating Ken's attraction to a younger woman? Would she be comfortable attending social gatherings with him, knowing about his history with Brandy? And would she tolerate Brandy staying over after the loss of a family member or pet, roaming freely around her property and lounging in her bed? Would she advocate for forgiveness towards Ken? Despite their long-term commitment, Ariana demonstrated dedication, and Lisa should be ashamed of herself for steering the narrative in this manner. As for the speculation about potential involvement between Ken, Lisa, and Brandy, it's an unsettling thought that has crossed many minds. Indeed, it seems Lisa's reaction might differ if the situation were public. She might adhere to the belief that infidelity is almost expected, as some from older generations suggest, citing cultural differences and a more relaxed attitude towards such matters. This discussion also brings to mind the rumors about Tom, Ariana, and Rachel forming a throuple. It's worth noting that Lisa's justification for the group's behavior by pointing out widespread infidelity doesn't absolve her own circle, her own son-in-law included, from similar scrutiny. Additionally, what's the scoop on Ariana's phony feud? During Katie and Dana's podcast, disrespectfully, Ariana admitted to having sort of one fake fight during filming, sparking curiosity about which altercation it might have been. Was it the one with Kristen in the SUR back alley, or perhaps the iconic spin scene with Lala? My guess is it was the season 9 spat with Lala. It felt contrived, emerged out of nowhere, and concluded abruptly. Given Lala's penchant for crafting narratives to divert attention from her personal life, it wouldn't be surprising. Season 9 was a chaotic period for the cast, and many of them haven't fully recovered. Another contender could be the confrontation from last season, where Lala questioned Ariana about Tom's absence from the party following Ariana's grandmother's passing, instead choosing to spend time with Raquel. Apparently, Ariana was reluctant to film this scene and was eventually persuaded after an hour. While not a full-blown fight, it was certainly a heated exchange. Additionally, there's speculation about the staged fight between Ariana and Sandoval last season, where he expressed a desire to take mushrooms and skydive naked at sunrise, supposedly as quality time. Ariana or Sandoval previously hinted that this fight was orchestrated, with Sandoval allegedly pressuring Ariana to depict their relationship negatively on camera to justify his subsequent breakup with her for Rachel. So while the emotions and issues discussed may have been genuine, the altercation itself was staged, supposedly by Sandoval. Another possibility could be the conversation where Tom divulged to the guys about Ariana and Lala's hookup. It feels authentic, yet staged for filming, especially considering Tom and Ariana's preference for privacy as a couple. Production might have orchestrated it to inject conflict, only for Ariana and Tom to resolve it off-camera. Ultimately, it's intriguing to speculate on which altercation Ariana referred to, considering the intricacies of reality TV production and the blurred lines between authenticity and performance. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.